Hey guys, welcome to the Master That Solo. You just heard Nuno's little ending phrase to the solo from Winning President. So in this lesson I'm going to go through the solo, how to play every little nuance, every little note of it. I've already covered the rhythm parts of Winning President, so if you've not seen that, please check it out. You'll get to look at all the kind of rhythm parts of the song. But we're just going to look at the solo today. So this first phrase sounds like this. So this opening phrase, Nuno doesn't really play live anymore. It kind of plays the riff that we covered in the other lesson. But basically, the way to think about this, we're F sharp, pentatonic minor here. And what I'm going to be doing is bending 17th fret for that B string up a whole step. Put a bit of vibrato on that as well. Yeah. Then we've got a big old two-step bend here. This is maybe why Nuno doesn't play that live anymore, in case he breaks strings. But from this, we're now going to bend up. Yeah, so you're aiming for that note at the 21st fret, the B string there, so that's a big old bend. So when you're doing that, if you're not used to playing these kind of huge bends, really anchoring with your thumb, I'm putting it on the top of the neck there, allows me to get that, and I'm using a little bit more finger push as well as the wrist to get that kind of distance in the string. So I'm pushing up a whole step, or two whole steps should I say, then I'm going to go and release it. So you hit that kind of da 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 da, you know, little rhythm like 4 times, ba da ba ba, and then pick it down. Then what I'm going to do is take my middle finger onto the 16th fret, the B string here, do a little half step pre-bend. So I'm thinking of that note to start with. Release it, and then hit it. And it's almost like it's like a really wide vibrato here, a little kind of half step bends. So you're bending up and down there like 3 times. On the 4th one, bend up, hold it, and then go. What I'm doing there is hitting that B string. Then my pinky plays 18th fret, the high E string. And then I go back to that 16th fret on the B string there. And kind of slide off. Yeah, so that kind of goes. A bit of vibrato, yeah. And that's that kind of first phrase. So slowly, it's big bend. Even bigger bend. Release. Yeah. And then it leads us into the next phrase, which sounds like this. So in this second section, we've got this really cool jarring sounding little dyads that Nuno's playing here. So again, it's still all kind of F sharp, but the way you can think of these kind of intervals are almost kind of like sevenths, inverted sevenths. Yeah, you've got this root note, you've got this E here as well. Yeah, which is because really kind of ear-catching kind of phrase. So I'll talk about the shapes and the rhythm in a second. So shape-wise, I've got like 2nd fret the high E string, 5th fret the B string. That's the first one. Then I'm going to shift up. So I'm 5th fret the high E, 9th fret the B string. Then I go up again, 9th fret the high E, 12th fret the B. And then that last shape is 12th fret the high E string, 16th fret of the B string there. That's your kind of shapes. So when you're playing up this, make sure you've got that stretch. You know, you've got the kind of 3 fret gap, then the 4 fret gap, 3 fret, then 4 fret. Yeah. Now rhythmically, what Nuno's doing here is it's kind of like a little group of 4, like a down up down up, and then there's a little percussive or pan mute on this as he transitions to the next shape. So you have this. Yeah, that's the kind of general vibe of it. You might hear an extra, you know, upstroke or something there, but that's the sort of thing to aim for. So down up, and then a little muted, down up, then down up, down up. And when we get up to this one here, rhythmically we hit off on the offbeat here. And what he's doing is it sounds like he's done that group of 4. Then the pinky moves up to the 17th fret and you do a group of 4. Yeah, but it might sound like he's picking the B and the E string. And then you move it back to 16, 12, 16, 12. Yeah, because this is the same notes, it's unison. So it kind of goes that sort of thing. And we end it with a 17, 14. that leads into the kind of ending kind of phrase. So slowly that kind of goes. Yeah, it's kind of one of these things that's kind of hard to play slow, but that's the general vibe that you're going for. Yeah, and then we get into this last phrase, which sounds like this. Then we get into the last bit of the solo, which is arguably the trickiest bit, I think. And live, Nuno won't play this like this anymore. Even like if you go back to some really old footage when they were touring, like kind of 91, 92, he's playing a little bit something slightly different at the end here. And the reason for this is when I was playing through that, I was kind of fudging through it. Disclaimer, because on the recording it sounds like basically Nuno's playing with a 24 fret guitar, which I would odds on bet it was his Maple 24 fret N3 that he recorded this with, the one used in the Decadence Dance video. So obviously Nuno pretty much, his N4 is 22 frets. This is 22 frets. Rather than trying to grab a 24 fret, I wanted to keep it Nuno-esque and use this. So I'll talk about what I kind of did to kind of fudge the way through it, but obviously Nuno doesn't do that. He'll play something else. He'll play like a little tapping run down, like F sharp pentatonic minor or whatever. But what we start off with, I'll talk about kind of the shape that we're playing here. And this is a shape and something that he uses in quite a few places. This is one of Nuno's favourite little things. Get the funk out solo, stuff off three sides. So we're in F sharp pentatonic minor. So the shape that we've got here, if you imagine playing this F sharp pentatonic minor with your second and fourth fingers here. So you've got 17 in the high E, 14 in the high E, the fourth and second finger. Same thing in the B string. Yeah. And I've got 14th fret of that G string there, the middle finger. What he's doing with his first finger is he's playing 11th fret for all those strings. So you have the shape. So that'll run, it's going to get the funk out. It's like he's playing it like up at the kind of 15th fret with the middle finger. Because it's F sharp, he's at the 14th fret here. So that's a kind of little shape. So we start off with a group of, basically it's like 6 triplets or kind of 16th triplets. You're going to do a hammer on that 11 to 14 in the G string, and then play 11th fret of the B string there. And listening to it in the way you can hear kind of Nuno's pick attack, and by the way, when he plays this, it's absolutely spot on and clinically clean. He's just, he's awesome. But that hammer, the 11th fret there, and then I'm going to hammer 14 to 17 in the B string, and then 11th fret the high E string. That's your kind of first group of 6. Then I'm going to do 17, 14, 11 in the B string. And it sounds like that's picked. And then we're playing 14, 11, 14 on the G string. You could pick all that. You could hammer on from nowhere onto that 14th fret. The G string, it's hard to work out what Nuno's exactly doing there. So the hammer on from nowhere, pull off, hammer on. Whatever kind of feels comfortable. So that's your kind of first 12 notes. Then you do 11, 14, 17 in the B string again. Pick, hammer, 11 in the high E, and then 17, 14 in that B string. Yeah. And this is where your groups of your 6 triplets or your little triplet 16th end. Yeah. Now we're going to be playing this sequence. It's 11, 14, 17 on that B string. Yeah. Or you can think of that 11 as being the end of that. We start it here. So I've got 11, 14, 17. And it sounds like he's picking and hammering all that. Then 11 on that high E string. So that's like your group of 4. So when you're counting this, you can think of it as like it's 8 notes to the beat here, but you can think of it as like 1 yanda, 2 yanda if you want. Yeah, that's your first bit. Then I'm going to do that kind of 17, 14, and then I start it again. So it's got this weird rhythmical feel to it. And one of the things I've really struggled with trying to get this down is just that timing of it. Nuno's timing is just so awesome, just the way it kind of floats over the beat. That's what we're kind of doing here. So you can imagine it's basically being like a 6-note phrase, but you're playing it over these 30-second notes. So we do that once. So one of them would be like this. Yeah. Then you do another one. And then you end it with this. Just ending on that 11th fret there. Yeah, so that kind of goes. Yeah. Then what we've got is this tapping sequence, and this is a tricky thing to get into. So you've just ended up here. It's swithered over how on earth he was doing this, but I think what he does starts there, and then you're going to hammer on from nowhere and do this kind of tapping sequence. So the left hand, fretting hand, is going to be doing 17, hammer on from nowhere, pull off to 14, back to 17. And my right hand's going to tap at the 21st fret, and then the 24th fret. And that's my first little fudge there. Yeah, because I've not got 24 frets, but hitting that area at speed, you kind of get the kind of essence of the note there. Yeah. Then the next thing I'm going to do in the B string is I do that 17 from hammer on from nowhere on the B string with the third finger, pull off to 14, back to 17. Now I do this as a slide, tap 21st fret, slide up 22nd, back, off, and pull off like that. Yeah, again, this is all nice and even kind of 30-second notes, so like a 1E and a 2E and a. Yeah, then we end it off with a hammer on from nowhere, 16th fret the G string, pull off to 14, hammer to 16, hammer on to 17th fret, then I'm going to tap at the 23rd fret. This isn't quite as convincing in this one. And then pull off 17, 16, 14. Yeah, so that slowly kind of sounds like this. Yeah, I missed the string totally there. And then we end it off with this pinch harmonic at the 16th fret, the G string, and it sounds like it's up here. We kind of higher fret one rather than in the middle. So that's tricky to do, I guess. If you've got a 22 fret guitar, you're kind of fudging through it. As I said, Nuno doesn't play like this anymore. So that's your kind of whole sequence. So I think the challenge with this last bit is switching between that kind of triplet 16 feel into the kind of 30-second note. So you can count it almost like a half-time thing, like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and then a 1E and a 2 and a, to get a feel for it, yeah. And then this little tapping bit, get from here. It's quite tricky, but take it slowly, build it up, and I'm sure you'll kind of get it, yeah. Or you can just do what Nuno does and kind of play this bit, and then do some sort of tapping lick at the end. No one's gonna notice really in the audience, yeah. So that's it, guys. That's the solo to Winning Present. It's a pretty short one for Nuno's, only kind of 8 bars. But if you want access to the Soundslice tab for this, so you can loop bits, particularly that tricky bit at the end there, and build it up to speed, come on over to the Patreon. You'll get access to that, as well as the guitar profile if you want to use that, or just box standard kind of PDF tab file. We've got that too. You'll also get access to loads of other stuff we've got over there. We've got loads of exclusive lessons, technique lessons, theory lessons, you name it. All that stuff's over there, so come on over and check it out. And as I said, if you've not seen the full lesson on how to play the riffs to the song, basically the entire song, minus the solo, come over to the channel, check it out. And if you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe, because we're slowly but surely going through Pornograffitti. So next on the list is Get the Funk Out. So if you're subscribed, you'll get a notification when I've gone through that lesson. So thanks for watching, guys. Have fun with that, enjoy, and I'll see you soon.